Others time travel to become queens. I transmigrated into an interstellar death row inmate exiled to a barren planet. The crime was actually tearing apart 18 beast husbands barehanded. But I haven't even held a man's hand. I thought my life had reached its end. Never expected this place to be the real paradise. Various big shots are fighting to become her partner. Not only is there the handsome, delicate green python, but also the gentle, water-like wolf king. Even the shy, clingy green vine Kia with countless tendrils begs for closeness every day, while everyone is being deceived by the queen, cursing her as a poisonous woman. The beastmen kings are lining up to bring marriage contracts for closeness and breeding. At this moment, Yellen opens her eyes and discovers she is in a high-tech room, looking down at the heavy handcuffs on her wrist, then, bewilderedly glancing at the women beside her, who are similarly handcuffed. Her face suddenly turns pale. Could it be she's encountered human traffickers? Suddenly, the room gives a big jolt. With a bang, the metal door is kicked open. In walks a 2-meter-tall, electroshock, baton-wielding, ferocious-looking, burly male police captain. He looks at them with disgust. "You vicious females, don't expect anyone to plead for you. Her Majesty the Queen has already issued the order to send you to Vamo Star to serve your sentences, never to return to the Empire." As soon as he finishes speaking, except for Yellen, all the females' expressions change drastically. Wamuxing is a gathering place for disabled ORCs. The females turn pale with fear one by one. Only Yellen was bewildered and at a loss. Her heart turned completely cold. Who are all these people? How were they kidnapped? She remembered accidentally falling into an uncovered sewer. But what is the situation now? Why does she have no awareness at all? Yellen wanted to figure out what was happening. She gently tugged the sleeve of the woman in front of her. Unexpectedly, it was pulled away the next second. Get lost. Tia saw this deceptively beautiful face. Her expression turned even colder than before. It would be best not to let her return alive. Otherwise, she would definitely tear those two traitors to pieces. To actually use such despicable means to frame her. She is an Empire's countess. Although she has fallen into being a criminal female, it doesn't mean she tolerates these truly criminal females, especially the female named Fina in front of her. Who would have thought that behind such a beautiful and delicate face lurked preferences more brutal and perverse than those of aliens? When over a dozen whipped male corpses, deformed beyond recognition, were exposed, the entire Empire was in an uproar. The entire planet had never seen such a vicious female. Therefore, Tia showed her not a hint of kindness. Yellen, receiving no response, felt a deep sense of helplessness rise in her heart. She could only shrink into a corner, reducing her presence, unaware of which day she had been imprisoned. The door opened from the outside. Looking at the scene outside, Yellen finally realized she had actually been high in the air all this time. Suddenly, many men in uniforms entered. Onto each woman, they put something like a backpack, then pushed the females forward. Help! Screams that tore through throats drifted in the wind. Yellen closed her eyes in fear, waiting for the sharp pain and death to come. When you trash-hunted males, didn't you ever think about today's outcome? A scornful sneer sounded in her ear. Yellen instinctively opened her eyes. Only then did she discover she was wearing a parachute. The woman next to her seemed to despise her quite a bit, trying hard to control her descent direction, intending to stay far away from her. But the wind was too strong. Their parachutes became directly entangled together. Tia's expression was very unpleasant. Yellen, experiencing this for the first time, also had a pale, frightened face, biting her lips desperately to keep from screaming out loud. Who would have thought? Their parachutes got tangled at the top of a large tree. They were left hanging in mid-air in an extremely uncomfortable position. Yellen felt like crying, but had no tears. What on earth is this? Plah. See? Which country's people are you anyway? The female's expression made Tia feel something was off. Tia looked at the other with a suspicious gaze, waved a hand in front of the other's eyes. I am Tia. Who are you? I am called Yellen. Tia looked at her with a probing gaze, pondering her intentions. The female's face was undeniably beautiful, but upon closer look, she noticed differences between the other party and Fina. Their eyes were different. Fina's eyes were bluish, whereas the female before her had black ones. Most importantly, these eyes were very clear. Not the hypocritical, seductive kind like Fina's. Tia fell silent for a moment. She grasped the other's hand, carefully sensing for a while. A golden pupil flashed. Prize such clean power. With that grasp, she felt all the fatigue in her body vanish without a trace. As for Yellen, she was shocked and at a loss. When their hands clasped, her mind was forcibly flooded with many things. Before she could examine them closely, those things disappeared without a trace. What kind of ability is this? And who exactly are you? How do you look so much like Fina? Yellen shook her head in confusion. I don't know any Fina. I just fell down. And after waking up, I was tied up with you all on the plane. Then I was thrown down. Which country are you all from? And why were you tied up? Yellen felt dizzy from being hung, and couldn't help but retch. Let's talk later. We need to find a way down first. The two struggled their way to the base of the tree. I'm so thirsty. Where is there water around here? Yellen looked around helplessly. Tia looked at the female, who hadn't yet recovered. Yellen, you rest here for a while. I'll go look for a water source nearby. After saying that, Tia left. No one noticed. Something was moving above Yellen's head. On the thick tree trunk, at some unknown time, a slender green vine had extended. Sneakily, it slid from one shoulder to the other. Yellen, resting against the tree, felt nothing at all. After resting for about 10 minutes, Yellen decided to walk further away to look around. Seeing the female walking into the distance, the big tree urgently extended a vine, wrapping it around the little female's waist. Yellen's heart skipped a beat. But the next second, her handcuffs and shackles were twisted apart by the vine. The now thinned vine reluctantly left the female's body. It swayed its body in front of the female, as if seeking praise. What was going on? Was this some kind of bizarre ritual? Yellen was very scared inside. She looked bewildered at the green vine in front of her. That was twisting in a rather flamboyant manner. What do you want to do, huh? The female's voice was soft and pleasant. Yellen felt as if it understood her. Thank you for helping me remove the handcuffs. But right now I'm thirsty and hungry. I need to find water and food. So I can't play with you. So the female was hungry. It was its oversight. It had actually forgotten the female's needs. The green vine felt deeply apologetic. Then the vines began to thicken, wrapping around Yellen's entire body and carrying her to a small riverside. So you brought me to find water to drink. I'm sorry I misunderstood you. Little female, you don't need to apologize to me. It's all my fault. The green vine swayed slightly, then set the female down, urging her to go drink water. Yellen smiled gently at the tree spirit. Unbeknownst to her, this smile stirred the plant beast greatly. If it had met such a beautiful and lovely female earlier, perhaps it wouldn't have become what it is now. Just then, a surprised voice came from the side. Yellen, how did you find your way here? Tia, it's great. You're here too. It brought me here. As she spoke, she pointed to the tree spirit behind her. Tia followed her finger and looked at the tree. The next moment, Tia was greatly startled. It's an abandoned beast instinctively grabbing Yellen, ready to flee at any moment. Tia, what exactly is an abandoned beast? Tia kept a wary gaze fixed on the plant beast, explaining abandoned beasts are crippled, wandering beasts. They are male beastmen whose mental power has collapsed, and who have lost their rationality. They are cruel and bloodthirsty. If you encounter one, you must stay far away, or they will torture us to death. Yellen, what beast tribe are you from? Tia's sudden question left Yellen bewildered. After a half-hour-long conversation, the two exchanged information. Through her description, Tia understood that this female named Yellen could not transform into a beast form and came from a remote planet, having been abducted by interstellar traffickers and brought to Victoria Star, and coincidentally resembled Fina in appearance, which was why she had unwittingly taken the blame for someone else. Yellen also basically understood what kind of place she was in, and the information about the Beastmen Empire. Tia asked the plant beast with certainty, "You haven't completely lost your rationality, right?" The green vine nodded its vine tip. Seeing this, Tia's heart, which had been held up all along, finally settled down. She had also guessed that abandoned beasts who lost their rationality were the most primitive wild beasts, cruel and bloodthirsty, but would definitely not be like this plant beast. Yellen was really a lucky female to have encountered an abandoned beast that still had its rationality. "We still don't know your name." The green vine eagerly used its vine tip to write the character Kia on the ground. "Kia is very happy to meet you. I am a lion, beast." Female Tia. Tia extended her hand toward the green vine. The green vine symbolically wrapped around her hand and gave a light shake, then moved toward Yellen. Yellen imitated Tia and shook hands with the green vine. "Hello, Kia. I am Yellen. Very fortunate to meet you." This time, the green vine eagerly wrapped around Yellen, without overthinking, held the vine in return. The female's soft palm made Kia shudder all over. The excited nerve endings trembled slightly. It knew why under the palm of the female. It felt an indescribable comfort all over. At this moment, in its excitement, it hadn't yet realized the difference in its body. The vine clung, unwilling to let go, for a long time. It allowed Yellen to hold the green vine in her hand, playing with and studying it, till the second person teased, asking if it was fun. Not willing to let go for so long. Only then did Yellen react, realizing she had been holding the other's hand all along. Her face flushed instantly. She quickly released the green vine. Embarrassed, she apologized, saying sorry. She forgot it was his hand. "Little female, you don't need to apologize. You can touch it as long as you like." What Yellen didn't know was, his vine could be any organ on his body. The vine swayed reluctantly. The evening breeze blew coolly, very comfortable. The two of them, together, sat not far from the riverbank. The green vine swayed lightly, moved its tree foot over to Yellen's side, and sprouted a vine meadow. The lush green meadow looked both soft and clean. Yellen and Tia lay head to head. She whispered, "Good night, little female." "Good night to you too." Kia quietly watched the female's sleeping face. In his heart, he felt a peculiar sense of fulfillment. The vines grew wantonly, slowly taking the shape of a blanket, and carefully covered Yellen. The moment it attached to the female body, Kia trembled with excitement. On a branch at the top of a tree in the dark night, a flower bud suddenly emerged, and a small red flower grew. Kia nervously gasped for air, carefully wrapping the female into his own body. Just an embrace made him so thrilled that another small flower bloomed. The night breeze gently brushed. The little female turned over and hugged the vine blanket. Shame made a surge of heat rush straight to the top of his head. Stimulated, he bloomed another flower. This flower even seeped liquid, nearly causing his sanity to collapse instantly. He thought this was his happiest night. The fatigue from mental exhaustion made Kia unable to control his urge to sleep. Holding the beloved female in his arms, he actually fell asleep. Chirp, 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 chirp. Two birds chattered as they flew across the sky. Kia suddenly woke up. Unable to hold back fear and shock, he had actually fallen asleep without any defense. Dawn was approaching. Kia reluctantly retracted the vines. The moment he left the female's body, he suddenly thought of something. He had been conscious all day yesterday, yet he didn't have a headache. Could it be a sign that he was being eroded by the alien virus? Thinking of this possibility, he couldn't help but feel panic and sorrow. He had only known the female for a day. How could it be? Yellen was woken by the cold. Is it dawn yet? Yellen yawned. Her drowsy eyes cleared up a bit. Hey, where did this little flower come from? So pretty. Yellen noticed a small red flower had fallen on her leg. She casually picked it up. The little flower was red, like a miniature version of a rose, both vibrant and beautiful. She brought it close to her nose and sniffed it. Unbeknownst to her, this action made Kia shudder all over. If he were standing here in human form, he would definitely be restraining himself while feeling an indescribable pleasure. That was his little mate. She actually put it near her lips. No, he wouldn't be able to hold back. Yellen brought it close to her nose and sniffed. There was a faint scent on it. Very faint, couldn't tell what kind of fragrance it was. Yellen held up the little flower and said with a smile, Kia, look, isn't this little flower pretty? Let me pin it on your vine. She gently tugged at Kia's green vine, then tried to pin the little red flower onto it. Perhaps the vine was too hard. Or perhaps she used too much force. Not only did she fail to attach the petal, she ended up crushing it. She had no choice but to sheepishly throw it away. This flower isn't good. When I find a bigger, prettier flower, I'll give it to you then. Looking at the discarded flower, before Kia could even feel regret, he heard his little mate's words. Instantly, his heart felt so stifled he could hardly breathe. His little mate actually thought his flower wasn't good, and even said she would find a bigger flower. How was he supposed to tell his little mate? His flowers are actually not small. Having already washed up, Tia walked over, gave a slight nod towards the beast, thanked Kia. You are a good male. You must persevere. If we can leave this place, I will definitely find a way to get someone to cure you. Hearing this, Kia felt a momentary surge of excitement, but it quickly cooled down again, because he knew he could not be cured. A male beastman who has become an abandoned beast, no one can cure. Green Vine wrote disappointedly on the ground. Thank you for your kindness, but no one can cure an abandoned beast. That short line of words made Tia's heart clench. Yellen also understood. The thought that Kia was slowly waiting for death made her unable to hold back her distress. In her heart, she already considered Kia a friend, yet he was about to die. The corners of her eyes uncontrollably reddened and grew moist. Before anyone noticed, she quickly wiped them. In contrast, Kia was the calmest. He had long known his own outcome. However, upon seeing Yellen and Tia both saddened for him, for a fleeting moment, he felt this lifetime was worth it. At least someone still cared about him. Little female, thank you for grieving for me. Even if only for a moment. He was also extremely satisfied. Kia saw the female's reddened, moist eye corners. His heart felt both joy and bitterness. How I wish I could take human form and give the other a hug. Even just for a moment would be enough. The vine quietly coiled around the female's wrist. With a gentle, soothing intent, Yellen's nose tingled sorely. Her other hand softly stroked the vine. She was just about to say a few comforting words, when she was startled by the soft light emitting from her own palm. What is this? She shook her hand off as if scalded. Staring in shock, she turned her hand over and back. This exclamation also gave Tia a fright. What's wrong? Yellen pointed at the hand that had just glowed. So excited she began to stammer. Did you all see that just now? My hand seemed to glow. Kia and Tia looked at her with strange expressions. What's the big deal about glowing, Yi? Lin was somewhat at a loss for words. My hand glowed. Don't you find that strange? Tia, seeing her making such a fuss, didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Glowing is perfectly normal. Look, I can do it too. As she spoke, she spread open her palm. The next second, a red light emerged from her palm. Her expression utterly matter-of-fact. This is the halo of an ability. Even newborn young ones have it. Yelin blinked dumbly, repeating, unable to process it. The halo of an ability. Could it be that she also has an ability now? Suddenly, Kia began to grow restless and anxious. The green vine wrote on the ground, "We must leave immediately. This place is no longer safe." The sudden remark left Tia stunned. Over there. Kia had already carefully wrapped Yelin up and placed her on top of his tree. There was no time to explain much. He quickly wrote a line, "Beasts have caught your scent." He didn't even finish the last few words before vines swiftly bound Tia tightly. The next second, the two of them and the bundle were gone without a trace. Wolf howls echoed through the forest. In the blink of an eye, a silver streak of light gave chase. It was a giant silver wolf, over 3 meters tall. Its deep green eyes were cruel and bloodthirsty. Kia instantly felt an intense sense of crisis. The silver wolf's attack was fierce and swift. Colorless sharp blades sliced through the air and plunged hard into Kia's tree trunk. Kia let out a muffled groan. A green liquid flowed from where the blades had struck. The silver wolf raised its head and let out a long howl. Its originally 3-meter-tall frame expanded by another 2 meters. Its deep green, beastly eyes, quietly tinged with blood red. Its massive jaws opened, and a hurricane swept across the ground. The hurricane spun larger and larger. Seeing this, his heart skipped a beat. He hurriedly strengthened his defense, but his power was dispersed across every vine, while the opponent's power was concentrated in one place. The silver wolf Rex pushed off mid-air again. Leaping to the treetop, he saw the female, protected by vines and rock, on the treetop. A female wolf's sense of smell is among the best of all beast tribes. He came precisely for this scent. How rare! It had been a long time since he last smelled such a pure female scent. This female was his. Rex weighed the options in his mind for a second. Decided to give up on killing the plant beast. Taking advantage of the plant beast's distraction, he grabbed the female in his mouth and swiftly left. Yalinkyu was furious. Tree roots left the ground. He immediately gave chase. The commotion from this pursuit was earth-shaking, but it was still too slow. Among males, plant beasts are the race with the lowest sensitivity to scents. While chasing, he lost track of the silver wolf. Kia's over 20-meter tree body rapidly shrank. He was already exhausted. In just a few seconds, he shrank back to about 2 meters in size. When his second pair of feet touched the ground, he even sighed in relief, thinking it was finally over. The words Kia was about to ask earlier came to an abrupt halt. His pupils instinctively dilated. He stared in shock at the tree body before him, oozing greenish fluid. Around his body lay scattered broken vines all over the ground. Even the little green vine that used to greet him had disappeared. Looking at the extremely anxious Tia, he couldn't explain. Yelin, wait for me. I will definitely find you and bring you back. Kia slowly fell into a deep sleep, gathering strength once more. Seeing no response, Tia's heart sank deeper and deeper. She only knew that a fierce battle had just taken place, but she hadn't expected it to be this severe. Kia was actually injured to this extent, and Yelin was also missing. Thinking of the wolf howl she heard before, the bad premonition in her heart grew stronger and stronger. Yelin? Was she snatched away by the suddenly appearing wolf beast? The object of concern was currently in a state of unconsciousness, carried in the wolf's mouth. Moving through the jungle, no one saw the female with tightly closed eyes. A golden diamond-shaped mark appeared on her forehead. It slowly disappeared after 1 minute. After an unknown amount of time, Yelin was woken up by the heat. She felt so hot, as if covered with a woolen blanket. so hot that she was sweating profusely. And someone was brushing something on her body, making her unable to hold back her moans. She slowly opened her eyes, meeting a pair of aggressive, beast-like pupils. Oh, God, a wolf was eating her. She reflexively pushed with all her strength. Yellen felt her heart was about to stop. Her sudden opening of her eyes also made the silver wolf pause for a moment. But it was only for a moment. The wolf's paw quickly pressed her down. The aggressive, dark, beast-like pupils examined her. It was the cave. Help. Yellen struggled continuously, not knowing where she kicked. The silver wolf suddenly let out a warning growl. Its tongue moved from her face to her neck. Yellen then realized her clothes were open. Looking at the wolf head, diligently licking her chest, her mind went blank. The abandoned beast Rex tasted big milk candy for the first time. All the blood in my body became exhilarated. Yellen's body felt as if an electric current had passed through it. Goosebumps rose all over. Get away, Yellen angrily shouted. Hearing the female's angry shout, Rex looked up and met a pair of furious, beautiful eyes. Wolf pupils flickered with a cruel light. Provocatively, he stuck out his tongue and licked. Yellen was so anxious that tears streamed out. You disgusting, abandoned beast. Stay away from me. The word, disgusting, made Rex's body stiffen. He raised his fierce, cruel beast eyes and coldly locked them onto him. Yellen was terrified by the gaze. Tears fell even more like a broken string. Washed by tears, they appeared even clearer and cleaner. For some reason, Rex began to feel irritated under the gaze of these eyes. A female abandoned by the Empire. Her fate is to become the plaything of abandoned beasts. But now, he couldn't bring himself to do it. Even though desire was swelling to the point of explosion, each other's emotions were clearly visible. Yellen observed the silver wolf, while shedding tears, bit her lip, decided to try to persuade the other party. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scold you just now. I just was scared. You're different from those beasts, right? Could you let me go? We can discuss things properly. Even someone as cold and detached as Rex was softened by the female's attitude and voice. He wanted to immediately pounce on the female and devour her completely. But he was even more curious about what the female in front of him wanted to do. No female had ever spoken to him like this before. He wanted to hear more. Rex finally lifted his noble foot, jumped down from the bed, crouched not far away. But his gaze remained fixed on her. Yellen breathed a sigh of relief. After straightening her clothes, she realized a pair of eyes had been watching her the entire time. Can you wait for me for a moment? I want to go out to use the restroom. Rex nodded, then took the lead, moving his limbs to walk out of the cave, seeming to have the intention of leading the way. Yellen quickly chased after him and called out to the wolf. You can just wait here for me. I'll find a spot myself. She finished speaking quickly, her face red with embarrassment, without waiting for the silver wolf's response. She searched around for a suitable spot, soon hid behind a thick, sturdy tree. Rex's ears twitched. He lazily sprawled on the grass at the cave entrance, waiting for the female to finish. At that moment, Yellen, hiding behind the tree, smiled bitterly in her heart. It turned out her crossing over was not an accident, but inevitable. While unconscious, she had received some kind of inheritance. It turned out she was a beastman, born on the beastman continent. Only, for some unknown reason, shortly after birth, she ended up on Earth, becoming an orphan. And having just received the inheritance, she naturally understood supernatural abilities without being taught. She just naturally knew how it all worked. Yellen turned back to look at the silver wolf with its eyes closed. If not now, then when would be the time to run? But just as she rounded a giant tree 2 meters thick, she caught sight of a familiar flash of silver. The silver wolf was lazily lying in the grass, watching her with great interest. This wolf really was different from ordinary beasts. Before she could figure out what to do, the silver wolf pounced. Its sharp fangs pressed against Yelen's neck. She tilted her head to the side. Actually, I'm hungry. I was just trying to find something to eat. Her stomach very helpfully let out a loud rumble. The hunger came on fiercely and suddenly, as if she hadn't eaten for days. It was originally an act, but now it had become real. Yelen immediately clutched her stomach from hunger. Her head also began to feel dizzy. She inwardly cursed her luck. Oh no, she had low blood sugar. Was she about to pass out? Rex looked at the weak female. Without hesitation, he immediately left the spot, for the first time, using his keen nose to search for wild fruits. Soon, the silver wolf returned to her side with wild fruits in its mouth. Rex loosened his jaw, placing the wild fruits in front of her. Yelen looked at the wild fruits as big as fists. Thank you for helping me. After saying that, she quickly picked up the fruits and put them in her mouth. Yelen ate as if she hadn't eaten for 3 days and 3 nights. After wolfing down 2 fruits in one go, she finally felt like she had come back to life. It was the first time Rex had heard a female say thank you. His heart couldn't help but soften. This was the most polite female he had ever seen. The wolf's claws cleared a small patch of ground. Using a claw tip, he wrote on the ground, "Full? Almost. Not that hungry anymore. Can you tell me your name?" The silver wolf gave a soft whimper. Using his wolf claw, he wrote 3 big characters, Rex. Rex. Yelen silently recited his name. A soft, murmuring tone heard by Rex's ears. It felt as if his heart had been brushed by a feather. A ticklish feeling. Yelen looked at him, curling into a smile. Rex. A very nice name. My name is Yelen. Rex's tongue moved around in his mouth, but couldn't produce any sound. His gaze involuntarily darkened. A shade. Once such a proud beastman, how could he be willing to fall into being an abandoned beast? With the emotional turmoil, the deep green wolf pupils gradually filled with a bloody hue. The silver wolf suddenly let out a painful whimper. The virus was attacking again. Yelen retreated several steps in shock. Hey, Rex, what's wrong with you? After the silver wolf crashed about wildly for a while, he dashed in the opposite direction from her and vanished. Yelen sighed. Harboring complex emotions, she ran in the opposite direction from the silver wolf. Tia had said, abandoned beasts are like an unpredictable time bomb. You never know when they'll explode. She wouldn't wait for Rex to return. Perhaps he wouldn't come back either. There was nothing she could do. It's already quite good that I can live well on my own. The time has come. At night, Yelen was sitting by the river to rest. This journey has been very lucky. Not only did she not encounter any wild beasts, but she also unexpectedly found a small river. Yelen tried to transform into her beast form, but she failed every time. For some unknown reason, she just couldn't transform into her beast form. Moreover, her special ability could only accelerate the growth of various plants. But she couldn't use plants to attack. Yelen let out a soft cry. She was too focused on thinking about her special ability, and didn't notice that she had been scratched on the arm by a branch. Yelen looked at her wound. Her eyes lit up slightly. Could she try using her special ability? She activated her ability and directed it toward the wound. She clearly felt a warm yet cool sensation at the site of the injury. In less than 2 seconds, the wound on her arm disappeared. She opened her eyes wide in surprise. So her special ability was of the healing type. Yelen discovered a new function of her ability, and was curiously experimenting with it, completely unaware of Rex slowly approaching from behind. Rex had no time to question why she had run away again. Before Yelen could react, she was picked up in Rex's mouth. With a few leaps, he left the place, before Yelen, who had been carried back to the cave, could even ask. She was pressed against a stone slab by Rex. He licked her from top to bottom, only letting her go after she was covered in his scent. Yelen was already filled. Her face flushed red as she put her clothes back on. For a moment, both angry and annoyed. You went too far, taking advantage of her like that. Regarding the female's anger, Rex just glanced at her indifferently, then extended a claw and wrote on the ground. Your scent will attract more abandoned beasts. Stay in the cave and don't run around. I'll go find you some food. If you dare to run again, don't blame me for forcing you, tying you up. You'll never think of getting out again. Yelen's eyelid twitched violently. Don't worry, I won't run away again. It's dangerous outside. Only here with you makes me feel safe. Rex turned and left the cave. The fluorescent light whooshed and vanished without a trace. Soon Rex returned. He held a branch in his mouth, with 5 or 6 wild fruits on it, and a small, thoroughly dead prey hooked on his claw. He placed it on the ground upon entering the cave, then lay down on the ground without moving. Yelen walked over, squatted beside the silver wolf, examining the bloodstains on his body, feeling somewhat distressed. You're injured. I have healing type abilities. After I eat my fill, I'll treat your wounds, okay? The silver wolf felt both surprised and puzzled inside. A female with healing abilities is extremely precious to the Empire. How could she possibly be exiled to Vamos Star? Unless she committed an unforgivable crime. But no matter how he looked, he just couldn't see it. What serious crime could this delicate-looking female possibly have committed? He couldn't help but write on the ground. How did you end up here? Yelen, who was munching on a fruit, saw it, and replied, I was mistakenly captured and brought here. I was unconscious due to an accident before. When I woke up, I was thrown off a plane. I've been here for about 2 days now. The female's answer surprised Rex, and also angered him. What the hell are the Imperial Police doing? How could they make such a mistake in capturing criminals? If it were other females, fine. They deserve their punishment. But such a beautiful and lovely female was also thrown onto Vamos Star. If she hadn't met him, who knows what kind of abuse she might have suffered. Rex, I'm full now. Change to a more calm, comfortable position, and lie down. I'll treat your wounds. Rex cooperatively moved inward, jumped onto the stone slab, and then lay down comfortably. Yelen carefully parted the areas stained with blood. The wolf fur was all matted together by the blood. Rex also knew that in this state, he looked somewhat pathetic. He instinctively avoided the female's gaze, not wanting to see any disgust in her eyes. But he couldn't help secretly glancing at her from the corner of his eye. When he found that her eyes showed no trace of disgust or displeasure, his wolf tail gave a small, involuntary flick. His gaze became uncontrollable, staring fixedly at the female. He wanted to completely possess the female. Silver Wolf's gaze gradually grew fervent, yet Yelen, who was carefully examining the wounds, didn't pay much attention. Under the cover of the wolf's fur, it was hard to notice without a close look. Only upon this careful inspection did he realize that on Silver Wolf's body, there were actually so many shocking wounds. Yelen's heart also felt rather uneasy. The wolf beast not only hadn't rested, but had also dragged its injured body to find food for him. Doesn't it hurt? So many wounds. You must be in a lot of pain. I'll treat you right away. It won't hurt soon. Rex's mouth opened slightly. He wanted to tell the other. These kinds of injuries were commonplace for him. He could no longer feel the pain. Not only did it not hurt, it even felt a bit sweet. Yelen began the treatment. The moment the special ability covered the wounds, Rex couldn't help but let out a comfortable sigh. Surprise flickered in the wolf's pupils. Such pure power. The female's healing ability was the cleanest and purest he had ever seen. That bunch of trash in the Empire would surely regret it if they knew they had abandoned such a good female. Go on and regret it. Under the treatment of the special ability, the wounds beneath the wolf's fur healed one after another. Bathed in such warm power, Rex felt as if he had received a top-tier full-body massage. Beyond being extremely comfortable, He couldn't find any other words to describe it. His entire body relaxed completely. The hammer slowly tapped, enjoying a relaxation not felt in many years. Yellen treated with great care, not missing a single wound. After treating the wolf's entire body, several hours had already passed, and Rex had long since fallen asleep, sleeping completely unguarded, giving the illusion of a silly, big dog. Yellen did not wake him. He was asleep. She could also be at ease for a while. Otherwise, he would look at her with impure eyes again. She silently yawned, lying down gently in her clothes behind the wolf beast, and slowly fell asleep as well. The night was quiet. In the pitch-black cave, only the soft sound of 2 breaths rose and fell, sleeping peacefully and soundly. But another part of the forest was not so fortunate. During Kiwa's slumber, Tia took on the duties of bodyguard and guard. Her own ability level was not bad, basically able to solve her own food and shelter. The reason she didn't leave Kia to act alone: firstly, she didn't know Yellen's whereabouts. Secondly, acting alone was too dangerous. The probability of encountering abandoned beasts was extremely high. Better to wait for Kia to wake up and act together. This wait lasted a full day and night. During this period, apart from worrying about Yellen's safety and Kiwa's injuries, she didn't encounter any trouble. Finally, in the evening, Kia woke up, roughly as she had guessed. Yellen was indeed taken by the wolf beast. "Can you track the wolf beast's trail?" Kia wrote with self-blame and regret. "I'll do my best. My abilities have mostly recovered now. Let's set off to find Yellen." The night quietly passed. Dawn arrived as promised. The first ray of morning sunlight shone into the cave entrance, and also illuminated the wolf and human embracing inside the cave. The light hit their eyelids. The silver wolf, in deep sleep, slightly twitched its eyelids. The next second, it opened its eyes, sharply scanning the surroundings. The wolf's pupils were keen and clear. This was just his instinct reaction. In reality, Rex's brain short-circuited for a moment. He glanced down at the person in his arms. Memories slowly returned. He remembered. Last night, the female helped treat his wounds. During the treatment, he lost consciousness. Rex's beastly eyes flickered uncertainly. He realized he had blacked out while sleeping last night. It's hard to believe. Since the virus erosion worsened, he hadn't had a good night's sleep. Yet last night, he slept soundly. He carefully examined his body, and was pleasantly surprised to find his injuries completely healed. Moreover, his body was fully rested, feeling full of strength all over. Rex was astonished. His gaze toward the female became deep and complex. The female's healing ability actually had such a strong effect. Not only has the body recovered to its optimal state, even the spiritual sea of consciousness has stabilized. No one can heal the spiritual sea of consciousness of an abandoned beast. After 2 mental breakdowns, he endured the side effects every day. His head often ached as if pierced by needles. This pain never ceased for a single day. But today, he doesn't feel any pain at all. He faintly senses, perhaps the female's ability can truly heal his spiritual sea. Thinking of this possibility, Rex's breathing immediately became hurried. Looking at the sleeping female, it was like seeing the beast god. Under this fervent gaze, Yellen woke up from the heat. The first thing she saw was a tuft of white fur. By the time she realized, she had already let out a low gasp, quickly turned over and sat up. Seeing the 2 of them in an embracing posture, she looked at Rex with accusing eyes. "You took advantage of me again." Opening his eyes to being scolded by the female, Rex not only wasn't angry, instead, he felt a secret joy and excitement. He couldn't care about that right now. He only wanted to clarify one thing first. The silver wolf jumped off the stone slab. His wolf claws were trembling slightly from excitement. He saw the wolf claws writing on the ground. "Please channel your ability into my body once more." Yellen was puzzled by this. I'll tell you the reason in a moment. Just try it first. After writing, the silver wolf crouched beside Yelen's legs and extended his wolf claw over and eagerly looked at her. But this really resembles a large dog, she inwardly complained. But on the surface, she skeptically grasped the wolf's paw, activated her ability and channeled it toward the wolf's paw. The familiar gentle power made Rex hopeful. He closed his eyes, carefully feeling it. It lasted about 5 minutes. Then Rex opened his delighted, beast-like eyes. The look he gave the female was startlingly bright. In contrast, Yelen felt uneasy under this gaze. She quickly withdrew her hand. Why are you looking at me like that? Are you plotting something? Rex was so excited, he didn't know how to say it. He immediately dashed out, excitedly howled at the sky outside the cave. Yelen looked completely baffled. He hesitantly walked out and saw the silver wolf jumping and leaping in front of the cave entrance, as if overly excited. At this moment, Rex wished he could immediately ascend to give the beast god a hug, thanking the beast god for letting him so luckily encounter the female. The excited Rex saw Yelen standing at the cave entrance, his wolf paw excitedly, and quickly wrote Yelen on the ground. Your ability can purify the clan virus within me. Please grant me permission. I will be a qualified mate. I will use my life to protect you. At this moment, Rex had none of the aloofness from their first meeting. Arrogance. The majestic large silver wolf instantly transformed into a big dog, almost wagging its tail. You said I can purify the virus inside your body. That's impossible, right? She remembered Tia saying that abandoned beasts are incurable. The silver wolf nodded excitedly. Yes, I can feel it. Maybe I can even return to being a normal beastman. Yelen, please help me. If my ability really can cure you, then I'm willing to try to help you. But if it doesn't work, you can't blame me. The person and the wolf returned to the cave again. Rex's wolf head very consciously rested on the female's thigh. Yelen lowered her gaze to look at the wolf head lying on her leg, activated her ability, tentatively placed her hand on the silver wolf's crown. Rex, who trusted her so completely, she couldn't help but lightly press her lips together. The head is the most fragile part of a beastman. A careless move could turn him into an idiot. To trust her like this. Wasn't he afraid she might hurt him? She closed her eyes, slowly channeled her ability. Then she discovered something different. She actually sensed the other's spiritual sea. She saw Rex's spiritual sea, densely packed, covered with black spots and purple light points. The black spots continuously multiplied and moved about, trying to occupy the entire space. Although the purple light points were driving away and eliminating the spots. However, the rate of elimination couldn't keep up with the spots' reproduction speed. It wouldn't be long before this place would be completely filled with black spots. It means that human consciousness completely disappears. Yelen seemed to have discovered a new world, gaining some insight as if by destiny. So this is the function of spiritual power. She, self-taught, began examining Rex's physical condition. When she felt that his body did not reject her, she increased the output of her special ability. In an instant, a third color surged into the purple spiritual sea. Milky white light points swept in with overwhelming force. Merging with the purple light points, the situation suddenly reversed. Yelen controlled her spiritual power, striving to clean this place up, till she felt her body signaling fatigue. Only then did she withdraw her special ability. He had already cleaned a fifth of it. A few more times and it could be completely eradicated. Opening her eyes, she realized it was already dusk. Her stomach growled loudly with hunger. At the same time, Rex also opened his eyes. At this moment, he felt even lighter than in the morning, extremely pleasantly surprised. Thanks. Enran Yelen couldn't understand his beast language. She just rubbed her stomach and said, I'm hungry. I'll go hunt right away. The silver wolf nuzzled her hand pleasingly. then darted out to hunt. Feeling that even his body was much more relaxed than before, Rex was as fast as a silver stream of light. The sky gradually darkened. After Rex returned from hunting, he took her to the riverside. One man and one wolf sat around the fire. The evening breeze blew by the river. Yellen stared blankly at the roasting meat over the fire. Her thoughts had long wandered off to who knows where. Rex, on the other hand, stayed close to the female, watching her quietly as she zoned out. He really wanted to freeze this moment in time. Just looking at the female he liked could make his mood this wonderful. If he could form a bond with the female, he didn't dare imagine how happy he would be. The aroma of the roasted meat wafted out. Yellen flipped the meat over, then used a sharpened stick to take the meat off. She brought it close to the wolf's mouth and said matter-of-factly, "Help blow on it." Rex thought, "Oh, the female is finally asking me to do something." Immediately, he eagerly blew on the meat. If his teacher knew that his level 9 wind ability, concentrated to the extreme, was being used to blow on roasted meat, he'd probably be so angry he'd rush straight to Moxon to beat him up. "I'm done eating. Let's go back." An excited howl from the wolf. Rex took the person back. This howl carried far, and quite unfortunately, reached the ears of two people. Kia, who was weaving vines, suddenly shuddered all over. He listened intently. The direction of the howl. Tia heard it too, but he couldn't tell whose voice it was. For a moment, he paid no attention. Kia, who recognized the voice, grew excited. He wrote with a vine tip, "I heard that wolf beast's voice. He's nearby. He and Yellen are nearby. I'm going to rescue them." Yellen Tia heard this and felt a surge of joy. "Really, you didn't hear wrong." The vine quickly wrote on the ground, "The sound of the wolf beast. I wouldn't mistake that sound." Following the direction of the sound, they arrived at the riverside where Yellen had roasted meat. Tia sniffed hard. "Yellen's scent is here, but the scent is very faint. More prominent is a dangerous male scent. No surprise. This is the scent of that wolf beast. The firewood is still warm, meaning the wolf beast left not long ago." Kia swiftly wrote a few words on the ground. "I know which way he went. Follow me." Kiwa's sense of smell is not his strong suit. He was just tracking as best he could to a position closer to the female. Who would have guessed luck was on his side? The wolf beast's cave was actually nearby. To avoid alerting the enemy, Kia stopped 500 meters from the cave. Writing on the ground, Tia, "You wait here. The wolf, beast and Yellen are in the cave ahead. I'll make it quick." After writing, he quietly moved closer to the cave. The vine crept along the ground and slithered in from a corner. The space inside the cave wasn't very large. As soon as he entered, he could see that large stone slab, big enough for 2 or 3 people to lie on. When he saw the scene inside, the vine shuddered, followed by an indescribable heartache. What he saw was the wolf beast shamelessly lay on the female's lap. And his Yellen was not only not heartbroken or in pain, she lowered her beautiful eyes with a gentle expression. Her hands were still massaging the disgusting wolf beast. The entire cave was filled with the wolf beast's repulsive smell, including on his Yellen's body. The scene nearly shattered Kiwa's heart. He who never needed to breathe now felt almost suffocated. Yellen had actually accepted the wolf beast. Why was he worse than the wolf beast? Rex, who was immersed in healing, suddenly sensed a trace of dangerous aura. His sharp wolf eyes abruptly opened, like sharp swords, shooting toward the vines that had already approached. Just as killing intent flashed, the vines moved quickly. Like lightning, they wrapped around the female's slender waist and retreated outward. When Rex opened his eyes, Yellen's ability was interrupted. She was about to open her eyes and ask, but found herself lifted into the air. Before she could react, a silver light flashed before her eyes. She fell back onto the stone slab again. With only a thud, She was the only one left in the cave. Her eyes showed astonishment. What had just happened? Immediately after, crackling sounds erupted outside. Yellen quickly jumped off the stone slab and ran out to look. Standing at the cave entrance, she saw Rex fighting a tree. The clash of their abilities produced crackling noises. Kia, this can't be. Subconsciously, she shouted loudly toward the tree. Kia, is that you? The female voice made Kia's waving vines pause. The next second, another thin green vine grew from the tree trunk. It stretched towards Yellen, wrapped around his wrist, moved up along his arm and rubbed against her face. Yellen showed surprise. It really was Kia. And the scene of the vine rubbing against the face made Rex's face turn green. The killing intent in his eyes towards the plant beast was overflowing. Flirting with his female right in front of him is simply seeking death. Rex, don't. Yellen was terrified. Without thinking, she rushed over, spread her arms and blocked in front of the big tree. Don't. Rex urgently withdrew his attack, looking gloomily at Yellen, who was protecting the plant beast. That sad and wronged gaze made Yellen feel a little guilty. Wait, Rex. There must be some misunderstanding here. I know this plant beast. His name is Kia, just like you. He is also an abandoned beast who still retains his sanity. Kia, how did you find your way here? What about Tia? Kia had to pause the attack. The vine wrote on the ground. Tia is nearby. We came to save you. The despicable wolf beast took you away. Rex also saw the words, roared at Kia. The female is mine. Fangs aimed at Kia the plant, as if about to pounce the next second. Rex, you go back to the cave first. Kia is my friend. After saying that, he turned to Kia and said, where is Tia? Let's go get Tia first. Then everyone can sit down and talk things out slowly. Kia, where is Tia? You lead us there. Kia suppressed the urge to beat the wolf beast to death, turned around with restraint to lead the way. Rex followed unhappily, with a drooping tail. They didn't hide their footsteps. Soon Tia saw them. Yellen waved at her. Tia, seeing the lively Yellen, ran over to her. Yellen, you're okay. That's great. Only when she got closer did she notice a dark figure behind them. A few minutes later, the two of them gathered the two beasts inside the cave. The already small cave became even more cramped with Kia added. It's starting to seem crowded. Yellen explained what had happened over the past 2 days and told everyone some good news. It seems she can cure abandoned beasts. Is this really true? Yellen, can you really cure abandoned beasts? Tia stood up in shock. Her golden eyes were filled with disbelief. This is too incredible. Since the war with the alien races began, there has never been an ability that can treat abandoned beasts. If this is true, then Yellen would be too important to the Empire. Kia also became excited, but he didn't dare to get his hopes up too much, afraid it would be a false joy. Rex, who was nearby, wanted to stop her, but it was too late. He never expected the female to reveal it so casually. What a simple-minded female. Such a special and extremely important ability. Unless it's someone you deeply trust, it's best not to reveal it to anyone. Fortunately, this is Vamo Star. It won't reach the Empire, Yellen said uncertainly. I can't guarantee it yet. I'm helping Rex with treatment right now. We'll know if it works when the time comes. Kia, if it really is possible, I'll definitely help you too. In the future, you can also live a normal beastman's life. The female's words slowly calmed Kia down. The female still thinks of him with deep affection. The green vines carefully wrapped around Yellen's wrist. As if kissing it, Tia looked at Yellen. With a complicated expression, she said, Yellen, do you know what your ability means? What does it mean? Tia said excitedly. It means our empire will no longer have abandoned beasts. You are the savior of the males. Yellen was stunned. She thought what Tia said was a bit exaggerated. Even if she had such an ability, she was just one person. With so many abandoned beasts, how could she possibly save them all? At that moment, Rex suddenly sneered and snorted, riding on the ground where everyone could see. So what? Shanran has already been abandoned by the Empire. Tia argued based on the facts. Who said Yellen was abandoned by the Empire? She was framed and took the blame for someone else. That's why she was exiled here. What do you mean? Yellen was taken aback by her words. Wasn't she mistakenly captured? Tia explained, have you forgotten? When we first met, I mistook you for a female named Fina. Yellen nodded, seeing that she still remembered. Tia continued, Yellen, you look 90% like Fina. You don't remember how you were captured, do you? I can conclude. You were framed by Fina and her mates. Tia sighed and explained from the beginning. She clearly explained the crimes and punishments of the guilty females. Yellen listened in shock and disbelief. Oh, my God. The women she thought were kidnapped were actually all murderers. Perverted sadist. Tia looked at the shocked Yellen and nodded. That's right. They got what they deserved. Especially Fina. She tortured and killed at least a dozen males. 5 of them were even her partners. No wonder. On the plane, those uniformed males were cold and indifferent toward her. No wonder Tia was so aloof with her, etc. So all the females tied up on the plane were heinous criminals. Then doesn't that mean Tia is too? She asked, unable to believe it. Could it be that, Tia? You, but who knew? The next second, Tia, with a dark face, said through gritted teeth. Damn it, I'm also an unlucky one who was framed. But my situation is different from yours. Yours is pure bad luck. I was framed because of personal grudges, mixed with some political issues as well. Yellen's expression froze. It even escalated to politics? Tia nodded with a cold face. My full name is Tia Isley, from the Isley family. I am a countess in Her Majesty the Queen's heart. Betrayed by my partner. I was drugged with an ability-suppressing medication. Witnesses and evidence were fabricated. They pinned the hat of harming my partner on me. Following normal procedures, given my status, I should have been interrogated by the Queen herself before sentencing. The rat who framed me allied with some people. To the extent that I didn't even get to see the Queen's face. Before being sent to Vamo Star, her tone carried a cold fury. She, a dignified countess, was framed just like that. Feeling both humiliated and furious inside. She must survive and return to take revenge with her own hands. Yellen was extremely surprised, never expecting Tia to have such a noble status. She asked with concern, Tia, what do you plan to do then? Do you have a way to go back? There is no way. Being thrown to Vamo Star means we have been abandoned by the Empire. If no one comes to pick us up, no one can return. Hearing this, Yellen's heart immediately sank. Doesn't that mean we're stuck here until we die? Tia hummed in agreement. If nothing unexpected happens, yes, but it's not absolute. We still have a slim hope of leaving. I am missing. My partners will come looking for me. It's just uncertain when they will find this place. Weren't you betrayed by your partner? Will they still come for you? Tia gave her a speechless glance. I have 5 partners. 1 betrayed me. 1 was killed. I still have 3 partners who are loyal to me. They are all beastmen with 7th or 8th level special abilities. Their personal strength and backgrounds are excellent. Give them some time, and they will definitely find out where I am. Alright, having 5 partners is beyond my experience. At least the situation isn't too bad. She comforted, at least there's still hope of getting out. Tia, your partners will surely come to rescue you. I couldn't tell Tia actually has 5 partners. Wow. Facing her as she is ready. Really want to ask how sleeping arrangements are usually made. But this question is too private. Yellen only hesitates to speak. Too embarrassed to ask outright. Tia gives a soft hum, holding only half a hope in her heart. She doesn't know among the remaining three if there are still any who have betrayed her. Adjusting her emotions, her gaze ambiguously sweeps between Yelin and the two beasts. Yelin, you have the scent of a wolf beast on you. We have already mated. His words make Yelin's face instantly flush bright red, subconsciously covering her own chest. Looking down, her face almost reddens to the point of steaming. The fabric of her top is a bit thin. No matter how tightly pressed, it can't withstand the transparency of the clothes. She says very awkwardly, Tia, don't make wild guesses. I definitely haven't with Rex. It's just that my clothes are torn. Rex licks his lips, a bit dissatisfied with Tia's reminder. Originally, he could have watched a while longer. And Kia, while feeling uncomfortable, can't help but stare. When will he get to have a taste? Tia is amused by her shy appearance. Yelin, what are you shy about? We're all adults. Isn't mating very normal? When I just turned 18 and became an adult, I had my first partner. Until now, at 25. I've already had 5 partners, and that's considered few in the Empire. Don't tell me, Yelin, you're not even an adult yet. I am an adult. I'm 22, 3 years younger than you. Pretty much as Tia guessed. Already 22 and still without a male partner. How are you going to get by in the female circle in the future? Tia, you don't tease me. These things depend on fate. It's not something you can just find whenever you want. Before finishing the sentence, vines wrapped around my waist. Don't even think about letting the female see you first. And Rex, who was a step slower, angrily bit through Kiwa's vines, then stuck out his tongue to lick the back of the female's hand, showing off his presence. Tia smiled ambiguously and teasingly, saying, Yelin, don't mind them. All males are like this. Can you really not tell, or are you pretending not to? They both want to be your partner. You can quietly tell me which one you prefer more. Or if you like both. Seeing Yelin still not understanding, she decided to say it plainly. They're fighting over you. Whoever wins gets the right to be your partner. Even if you take both of them, they'll still fight. They're competing for priority mating rights with you. Looking at the two shadows fighting outside the cave, she felt completely off. Yelin took a deep breath. Tia, how long are they going to fight? Tia, getting sleepy, started yawning. Who knows? Males have endless energy. Don't worry about them. Let's go to sleep first. In order to find you, I haven't slept much these past 2 days. Yelin didn't pay attention. The two beasts fighting outside climbed onto the stone slab and lay down beside Tia. Tia fell asleep within 2 minutes. But Yelin couldn't fall asleep, no matter what. She simply got up, walked outside the cave and shouted, I'm telling you, if you fight again, I won't care about you anymore. I'll go treat other abandoned beasts. Almost as soon as the words fell, the two beasts stopped fighting and walked towards her together. Yelin felt they seemed to have listened to her words, so she walked further into the cave, letting both beasts come in. Do you want to sleep now or get some treatment? I'm not sleepy yet. Kia excitedly wrote on the ground with a vine tip. Rex is the same. Then both of you lean here. She wanted to try if she could treat them simultaneously. The two people held a wolf paw and a green vine, sitting cross-legged on the stone slab, and began transmitting their special abilities. She had checked Rex's during the day. It didn't need much attention. Just stable. Output was fine. She focused more on Kiwa's side. As her spiritual power deepened, she sensed that Kiwa's spiritual sea was vaster than Rex's. The black viruses inside weren't as dense as Rex's. Kiwa's spiritual power was above Rex's. Not long after, her spiritual power probed in. A mass of spiritual power with faint green light wrapped around it. Linlin, is that you? The voice appeared directly in her mind. Yelin was taken aback for a moment. This was Kiwa's voice. Linlin, your psychic power is so strong. Kia couldn't help but express surprise. Her psychic level was even a notch higher than the Queen's. Almost no one in the entire country could surpass her. He never expected Linlin's psychic power to be even more vast than his. Yelin didn't know how to communicate with him telepathically. Her anxiety made her psychic flow unstable. Kia was the first to notice her change. Linlin, you want to talk to me, but don't know how to say it, right? Don't worry, it's you. Next, Kia patiently taught Yelin how to use psychic power. When it came to the application of psychic power, Kia dared say few in the Empire were his match. Once a proud son of heaven, if not for being infected by the virus, unable to find a partner to soothe Varmox, and delayed for decades, who could imagine to what heights he could have grown? In just one night, the virus existing within Kia's psychic stone sea had been cleared to less than a tenth. When the first ray of morning sunlight shone in, Yelin and Kia opened their eyes simultaneously. Kia tried, but still couldn't transform back to his original form. But he could speak now. Linlin, thank you. Yelin withdrew her aching hand. You're welcome, I should thank you too. You taught me a lot. Psychic power was far more powerful than she had thought. She wasn't completely without self-defense ability, just don't know how to use it. The sound of their conversation made Rex suddenly open his eyes, his gaze sharp and suspicious as he looked at the plant beast. Seeing him awake, Yelin greeted him. Rex, good morning. Kia also deliberately followed with a greeting. You're awake. This voice made the wolf's pupils instantly widen. A look of disbelief fixed tightly on him. How can he speak? Noticing his surprise, Yelin explained with a smile. Rex, Kia's mental strength is a bit stronger than yours. His condition isn't as severe as yours either. He'll probably be completely purified after one more session. While you'll likely need a few more evolutions. The confident words left Rex even more stunned. Did he hear that right? Able to speak after just one night? Rex found it very hard to accept. Rex had always worn the halo of a genius since childhood. If his abilities weren't so outstanding, leading to an inability to find a suitable female match, he wouldn't have ended up as a discarded beast. Yet now he's being told that even a random plant beast's mental strength is stronger than his. You're all awake. Tia was woken by the talking, yawning as she sat up. Yelin immediately shared the good news. Kia can already speak. Kia greeted her with a smile. Good morning. Tia, oh my god. Yelin actually possesses the ability to heal discarded beasts. If this news spreads back to the Empire, wouldn't the entire Empire go crazy? Yelin, you couldn't possibly be an envoy sent down by the beast god to save the Empire, could you? Tia's eyes were gleaming with a golden light, looking at her as if she were some kind of rare, peerless treasure. If we can return to Victoria Star, I will definitely apply to the Queen to request a noble title for you. You deserve this honor. Being exiled to Vamo Star, the one fortunate thing was becoming friends with Yelin. That Tia. It's too early to talk about these things now. Let's wait until we leave Vamo Star before discussing this. After being busy all night, I'm a bit hungry. Tia loves to stir up trouble without caring about the consequences, suggesting ambiguously, why don't the three of you go together? Catch more prey. Then we won't have to go out again today. Yelin remembered what Tia told her last night, that these two around her seemed to have ulterior motives towards her. Then why the hell would she still go? How about this? Kia, you and Rex, you two go. I won't go. I'll stay and keep Tia company, Yelin urged, pushing the tree and the wolf out of the cave. Seeing that the female wasn't going out with them, Kia, furious, shot a sharp glare at Rex and headed into the forest alone, thinking to himself to hunt quickly. He wanted to become Linlin's first mate. The two beasts had a tacit understanding, competing to see who would be the first to return from hunting. Watching the two beasts leave, Tia clicked her tongue in regret. Hey, Yelin, Why aren't you going again? Yelin looked at him with annoyance. I think you just want to watch the excitement. Knowing full well that both of them have impure intentions. Why should I still go out? Yelin asked puzzledly. Clearly, you are much prettier than me. There's no reason for them not to like you. Tia said, with amusement. You want to know the reason? Yelin nodded. Tia explained as if it were nothing unusual. Because you don't have any male scent on you. I have my partner's scent on me. For us beastmen, the most important thing in attracting the opposite sex is scent. Your scent is much cleaner than mine. Naturally, you can attract males more than I can. So that's how it is. Yelin understood. The beastmen's view of love should be understood from an animal worldview. So they pursue me. Only because my scent is clean. And can attract them. Not because they like me as a person. Thinking of this possibility, Yelin's heart felt heavy. Dia also couldn't figure it out. Liking your scent. Isn't that liking you as a person? Yelin, don't overthink it. Males choose their partners based on scent. We females also. Yes, in fact, males are even more humble. A male can only have one female partner. Tia changed the subject. Of course, the most pitiful are the males who don't even have a partner. It's lucky for them just to be alive. Yelin sighed softly. Yes, definitely won't live long. Because they're all worn out by the virus. As the two chatted, Kia and Rex returned. The two beasts arrived at the cave almost simultaneously. Neither could stand the sight of the other. Linlin, I'm back. I caught 2 pheasants. Kia, who could speak, immediately showed the pheasants to the female. Although Rex beside him couldn't speak. With a light toss of his head, 2 small animals of indistinguishable shape were thrown to Yelin's feet. Yelin looked at all the prey piled before her. The corner of her eye twitched slightly. She praised lightly, "You're all amazing. Now, let's go to the river. You must be starving." Linlin, I'll take you there right now. Not wanting the female to sit on his treetop, Rex bit Yelin's sleeve and pulled her out of the cave, lowered his proud wolf body, waiting for the female to climb on. The 2 beasts glanced at each other. Simultaneously chose to fight elsewhere. Their stance was even fiercer than last night. Both were fighting to kill. Yelin only felt a throbbing pain in her head. Secondly, are all males like this? You have 5 mates. Do your males fight too? Tia nodded, long accustomed to it. Of course, they fight. How could they not? Especially when it's time to sleep. They fight even more fiercely. Yelin was even finding it hard to believe. Why not come one by one? Tia replied. We are coming one by one. But 5 people in one night is still exhausting enough. Tia, really? This sister, she can only say she admires her. Yelin's stomach growled with hunger. He walked a few steps towards the direction of the 2 beasts, shouted angrily at the 2 beasts, haven't you fought enough yet? We're starving to death. If you keep fighting, it'll be dark soon. As soon as the words fell, the 2 beasts indeed stopped fighting and immediately ran over, apologizing, saying sorry. Linlin, you must be starving. I'll take you to roast meat right now. Yelin corrected him with the cold face. Please call me by my name. Yelin, and it's not just taking me. It's taking me and Tia. Rex, who was honorably wounded again over there, also followed. Yelin said directly, Rex, you're injured, covered in blood. It's not suitable to take anyone. You should act alone. After saying that, without waiting for their agreement, he and Tia directly sat on Kiwa's vine. Have to say, the male's speed is just fast. About 5 minutes later, they arrived at the riverside. Dia was really starving. As soon as his feet touched the ground, he burned the prey's fur clean, then squatted by the river with Yelin, gutting and cleaning the pheasant. After Yelin skewered the raw meat and placed it over the fire, he casually found a rock to sit on, occasionally turning the roast meat to heat it evenly. Kia silently positioned himself behind her, Acting as a backrest, Rex directly lay down, his head resting against the female's calf. Yellen was about to ask Rex to move aside, when she looked down and met a pair of eyes filled with deep, pleading affection. The silver wolf gently licked the back of her hand, then pitifully licked a wound on his front paw. Only then did Yellen see clearly. There was a finger-thick wound on the wolf's paw, and blood was still seeping from it. While feeling both annoyed and concerned in her heart, she activated her special ability to help heal his injury. Serves you right for fighting. Rex, you're not as strong as Kia. So why keep picking fights with him? Look at you, covered in wounds. And Kia, you're just as bad. What kind of grudge is this? That you have to fight every time you meet? As she healed Rex's wounds, she scolded them, noticing a certain wolf's face full of enjoyment. Jealous of him. Thorns even grew on the vines. Shameless wolf beast. Kia also wanted to learn from him and act pitiful in front of the female. But the annoying thing was, as a plant beast at his core, he simply couldn't bring himself to be that shameless. He only knows how to put on an act in front of females. The roasted meat should be about done, right? Yellen flipped the roasting meat. Kia, I remember you said last time that you knew where to find salt. I know where there is salt. It's not too far from here. If we go in the morning, we can be back by evening. Rex knew which place the plant beast was referring to. Because he couldn't speak, let the beast show off again. Yellen felt relieved immediately after hearing this. That's great. Let's go find salt early tomorrow morning. Without any seasoning anymore. I really can't eat anymore. Tia expressed the same feeling. The barbecue is almost ready to eat. Yellen took down the branch, skewering the barbecue, without needing to say anything. This time Rex took the initiative to come over, blowing hard on the barbecue. Dia, beside them, still found it too hot to eat. Seeing this scene, he couldn't help feeling a bit envious. So emotional powers can be used like this. He began to miss his partner. If his partner were here, he definitely wouldn't let him do these things. Yellen noticed Tia's mood, plunked down beside her. Tia, who do you have at home? I've only heard you mention your partner. Haven't heard you mention family? Tia said, with a faint expression. My family is a bit large. Except for the eldest brother. The others all have the same mother, but different fathers from me. Tia stopped abruptly mid-sentence, suddenly became agitated, grabbing Yellen's hand as if grasping a ray of dawn. Yellen, you can heal forsaken beasts. Can you please do me a favor? The two beasts nearby also quietly pricked up their ears. My eldest brother is my full-blooded brother. He is decades older than me. I haven't seen him since I was very little. Because he became a forsaken beast and was sent to Vamo Star. Yellen, I want to ask you to help me. If you run into my brother on Vamo Star, please lend a helping hand. Yellen thought it was something else and directly promised, no problem. If I come across him, I will definitely help. But Tia, can you still recognize your brother now? Tia isn't sure either. I don't know. After hearing this, Yellen couldn't help but ask curiously, aren't you nobles? How come you can't find a partner either? I don't know the specifics. I heard it from my mother. It said my brother was very powerful back then. The queen wanted to take him as a beast husband. But at that time, the queen already had over 20 beast husbands. My eldest brother has strong self-esteem, so he politely declined. My eldest brother also didn't want to just settle for any random female. So he kept delaying until his mental power collapsed and was sent to Vamo Star. It's already been over 20 years. When I turned 18 and became an adult, my mother asked me to move out and live on my own. My mother has too many children. Even though I am her only female child, she didn't give me much maternal love either. I don't know what the point of such family is. Tia swallowed the meat in her mouth and asked, what about you, Yellen? Who is in your family? Missing for so long. Your family must have been worried and anxious for a long time, right? Yellen chuckled lightly and said, "You guessed wrong about that. I have no parents. I am an orphan. Grew up in an orphanage since childhood. Always lived alone." Tia was shocked. The two beasts were also shocked. The little female is an orphan. Tia's first reaction was disbelief. "You are a female. How could anyone dare to abandon you?" Yellen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "I've said it before. I didn't grow up in the Beastman Empire. The place where I grew up. Females are not rare. There are plenty of abandoned children. It's not a rare thing." When she was young, she also resented why she was treated this way. Later, she came to terms with it. One can also live very freely. Until a few days ago when she received the inheritance, she vaguely felt that she might not have been abandoned, but that some accident had happened. Otherwise, how could she explain that she had crossed planets? As Yellen was reflecting on this, little did she know that Tia and the two beasts who heard these words were all shocked, speechless. Kia and Rex were left with nothing but heartache, not daring to imagine what kind of life the little female lived through in her childhood. Kia, already heartbroken, walked over, vines hooking onto Yellen's shoulders. "Linlin, from now on you have me. I will definitely give you a life. More affluent than other females. Awoo, and me too." Rex also ran over, wrapping his thick tail around her calf. Tia felt very uncomfortable inside, wrapping her arms around Yellen's shoulders. "If Yellen doesn't mind, then consider me your older sister. Back to the Empire, I've got your back. No one will dare bully you." Yellen couldn't help feeling a bit moved inside. She never really had any friends. From now on, Tia would be her friend. After eating, Tia quietly asked Yellen, "Do you want to take a bath?" "I do want to. I always feel like there are pillbugs and fleas in the cave. I feel a bit itchy." It was fine not mentioning it, but once mentioned, Tia couldn't really stand it either. He directly asked Kikyu, "Can you do us a favor tonight? Linlin and I want to go wash in the river tonight. Can you keep watch for us?" "No problem, you can wash with peace of mind. I guarantee no beast will dare disturb you." Kiwa's voice carried excitement and a little thrill. "Females bathing, huh?" Yellen expressed great unease. "Let's just forget it. I think the weather has been a bit cool these past 2 days. Let's wash in a couple of days instead." Tia didn't force her either. "Alright, then you wash in a couple of days. But I can't stand it anymore. Keep me company tonight, okay?" "No problem," Yellen agreed. Hearing the little female wasn't going to bathe, both beasts felt somewhat regretful more or less. By the time they returned to the cave, it was almost noon. "Don't waste any more time. Kia, you're still a bit short. I'll try to finish your evolution this afternoon." Tia had nothing to do. "I'll guard you at the cave entrance. If there's danger, I'll notify you." "Then, Sister Tia, we'll go in first. You can move around nearby. Don't go too far," Yellen instructed. Then she and Kia walked into the cave, just like last night. The two of them healed together. The speed did not decrease, but the results doubled. The virus in Kiwa's body was less than 1/10 of an ounce left. Working together, they quickly purified the remaining poison completely. "Linlin, I think I can turn back into human form." "Really?" Yellen's spiritual power withdrew from his body. At the same time she opened her eyes. She also interrupted Rex's ability. The human and the wolf both looked at the tree, glowing green. Unfortunately, Tia was off answering the call of nature and missed this exciting scene. The tree suddenly burst with intense light. Yellen rubbed her eyes. When she could see clearly again, the more than 2-meter tall tree was gone. In its place was a completely naked man. The man had ink green hair that reached his waist, which was actually the same color as his eyes. His height was estimated to be over 1.9 meters. His features were gentle and profound, like a noble young master who had stepped out of an ancient painting. "Oh my God, he's so handsome." Kiwa's appearance completely fulfilled her fantasy of men from ancient imperial families. Her gaze involuntarily drifted downward. Broad shoulders, narrow waist, well-proportioned muscles. It wasn't until she saw something deep brown that seemed completely out of place on this body that Yellen snapped back to reality. She hurriedly covered her eyes. Her face had already turned as red as a monkey's bottom. I accidentally saw something I shouldn't have. Linlin, I've really recovered. At this moment, Kia was so overjoyed he couldn't contain himself. He hopped on the ground twice like a child. Linlin, thank you. He was excited and carefully gave the female a hug, finally holding her. So her body is this soft. And she smells so good. Let go of me, Kia. You're not wearing clothes. The other's body was slippery. She didn't know where to put her hands and feet. And the thing pressing against her waist. First time meeting. Let's not greet each other like this, okay? Rex was still in shock and secretly envious. The next second, his female was taken advantage of by the shameless plant beast. This was absolutely intolerable. A woo, let her go. With a roar, a heavy, sharp wolf claw swiped towards Kia's back. Kia reflexively hugged the female tighter, dodging, but not completely avoiding it, grazing the wolf claw. A bloody mark was left on his back. Originally just holding her. Now, they were pressed tightly together. Yellen's face flushed crimson. Kia, let go of me. Rex stood by, emanating cold air. If not for fear of accidentally hurting the female, he would have definitely added another claw. Kia, can you put on some clothes before talking to me? If you have no clothes to wear, then turn back into a tree first. What kind of behavior is this? Linlin, are you feeling shy? Yellen directly ran out of the cave. Rex, seeing this, also leisurely stepped out of the cave. When Kia walked out of the cave, it was already 5 minutes later. Yellen heard movement, glanced back. Kia had procured some broad leaves, strung them together with vines and wrapped them around his waist. Although his upper body was still bare, it was acceptable now. This attire looked somewhat like a forest elf, uniquely handsome. Hey, where's Tia? Yellen looked for a while before realizing someone was missing. Rex pointed to a spot for her to see. But Yellen didn't see anything. Kia spoke for her, saying not to worry. Tia is right over there. She's relieving herself. Sure enough, not long after he finished speaking, Tia walked out from behind a tree. Her expression was a bit strange. Seeing 3 pairs of eyes looking in her direction, Tia froze. Who is this unfamiliar beastman? She froze for a few seconds before realizing, then jogged back. She looked Kia up and down in surprise. Kia, is that you? Kia nodded. It's me. I've recovered. Although she had been mentally prepared before, seeing it with her own eyes was still shocking and unbelievable. Yellen actually has such a heaven-defying ability. Are we sure it's not the beast god himself descending to save his people? Kia has returned to human form. Rex grew even more anxious, looking at this splendid sunshine. We can't afford to waste any more time. The mighty silver wolf howls, pitifully nuzzling the female's palm. Don't forget about him. Yellen seems to understand what he means. After a moment of silence, she says, I know you want to recover quickly too. Don't worry, I'll help you right now. Great. The wolf leader is visibly overjoyed. Yellen turns to Tia and Kia and says, I'm going to help Rex purify now. Call me when it's time for dinner. Tia, seeing she wants to continue, asks with concern, Are you sure you're okay? From last night until now, apart from resting a bit while eating, you've been treating them non-stop. Can your body handle it? Yellen feels a slight warmth in her heart. Don't worry, if I get tired, I'll rest. Kia wants to explain something, but ultimately doesn't say it. Forget it. The secret of Linlin's extremely high mental power. The fewer people who know, the better. The red glow of sunset gradually fades, As the sky turns dusky, Kia calls everyone up. It's getting late. Linlin, are you hungry? She stretches her stiff arms. I am a bit hungry. Let's have grilled fish for dinner. Kia has no objections. With a doting expression, he says, all right, then we'll have grilled fish. Kia transforms back into his beast form. He takes them to the riverside. After reaching the destination and Kia turns back into human form, he goes into the river to catch fish. Tia is gathering branches for the fire. Rex wasn't idle either. He went to inspect the territory at the first opportunity. Rex hadn't returned from the inspection yet. Over here, the fish had already been caught. Yellen was about to go pick up the fish to process them. Kia stepped ahead and picked up all 3 fish. I'll handle this. This is something the male should do anyway. As long as I'm here, you won't have to do these things anymore. Kia looked at her and said seriously, this is what every qualified partner should do. Under the male's earnest and persistent gaze, Yellen uncontrollably blushed. We're not in a partner relationship right now. How can I feel comfortable letting you keep putting in the effort? Kia looked at the blushing female. His heart couldn't help but flutter. He said meaningfully, it's just not now. Lin, I liked you from the moment I first saw you. I want to pursue you. Don't refuse, okay? The other's gaze was too intense, causing her to dodge away, somewhat flustered. Her heart was in utter turmoil. As Yellen was struggling with her thoughts, suddenly warmth pressed against her forehead. Her eyes instantly widened. He only gave a kiss, a brief touch, then away. Linlin, be good. I'll finish handling this quickly. After saying that, he went to the riverbank to process the fish. Oh, already kissing? Tia's suggestive voice sounded from the side. She recognized this little sister, still too young and innocent. If it were her, she would have had Kia secured long ago. Linlin, don't worry about it. Let's go over here. Yellen was pulled a bit further away by Tia. Intending to have a private chat, Yellen understood her intention. Tia, I don't know what I should do. Tia's way of comforting was always straightforward and blunt. You will need to find a partner sooner or later. Why not give Kia a try? If you have feelings for him, then try being together. If it really doesn't work out, then have a clear talk and end it. Tia asked her directly. Don't you have any feelings for Kia at all? Yellen hesitated and said, it's not that. I think he's quite good. Then that's fine. Since you have feelings for him, what are you still hesitating and obsessing about? And here, no one is competing with you. If it were in the Empire, someone like Kia would be very popular. As the saying goes, males rely on strength to conquer the world, while females rely on conquering males to conquer the world. While they were having their private chat, Kia had already cleaned all 3 fish and was skewering them onto branches. Yellen saw it and was amazed. Kia, you finished so quickly. Yellen, be patient a little longer. They'll be ready to eat once roasted. At this time, Rex, who had finished patrolling the territory, also returned, carrying some wild fruits in his mouth again. Who knows where he found them? When handing her the wild fruits, Yellen caught a faint scent of blood on the wolf and guessed something. Rex, you've eaten your fill. I'm full. Silver Wolf rubbed her nose against the back of her hand. Yellen also casually patted the wolf's head. The fur was quite smooth. The 3 people and 1 beast gathered around the fire, quietly listening to the sound of burning. After eating the grilled fish, the moon also climbed up. During the day, Tia had mentioned wanting to bathe. So, half an hour after eating, the riverside was cleared. Kia and Rex very consciously moved away from the river, about 500 meters. After Tia finished scrubbing her arms, seeing Yellen spacing out, she invited her to come down together. Linlin, Kia, and the others have all gone far away. What are you still worried about? Come down and bathe together. I'm coming right now. Secondly, I also want to wash my clothes. Yelin really couldn't stand it anymore. These dirty clothes. After cleaning my body, I won't even be able to wear them. If I wash them, I'll have nothing to wear. Suddenly, she thought of something. Linlin, why don't you go ask Kia for some leaves? We can also string them together with vines. Make them into a long skirt style. It should hold up until the clothes dry. Yelin thought for a few seconds, then decided to just listen to Tia. Kia, can you give us some big leaves? Tia and I want to wash our clothes. We want to use leaf skirts to cover up for now. Of course, that's no problem. Soon, a vibrant green petal skirt was born in Kiwa's hands. Rex, who was watching, was shocked. As the saying goes, amateurs watched the excitement, while experts watched the intricacies. For wood-type abilities, spurring plant growth is a piece of cake. But to present the ability with such exquisite finesse is not something just anyone can achieve. It wasn't until this moment that Rex realized Linlin was telling the truth. Kiwa's mental power is very high, at least higher than his. 10 minutes later, Yelin returned to the riverside holding 2 dresses, found a slightly lower tree branch, hung the dresses on it, then entered the water to bathe. On the other side, Kia intended to have a talk with the wolf beast. Rex, let's talk. Talk about what? The silver wolf eyed him warily. Kia got straight to the point. Let's share Linlin. Rex was utterly shocked. What madness was he speaking? Kia continued explaining his idea. You being level 9 isn't too shabby. You qualify as my brother. Linlin definitely won't have just one male. To avoid other beastmen taking advantage in the future, we might as well join forces. Rex understood perfectly well. After seeing Kiwa's strength, he knew there was no possibility of fighting alone. Returning to the cave, she hung the wet clothes on the rocks outside the cave. Yelin went straight back into the cave, lay down on the stone slab and slept together with Tia. Kia transformed back into a tree. The wolf lay down not far from the tree. Both beasts quietly listened to the movements inside. How Yelin fell asleep, she herself didn't even know. The dress on her body is not warm. In the middle of the night, her body couldn't help but feel cold. Subconsciously searching for a heat source, she dreamed that she found a golden, furry blanket. It was truly warm and fluffy. She couldn't help but wrap the blanket tightly around herself, wrapping it very snugly. But whether it was due to the blanket's poor quality or something else, the fur felt a bit itchy against her skin. At first, it was only in certain areas, but gradually, it spread all over her body, even to the point where then she woke up. Her face showed an abnormal flush. The leaf skirt that reached her ankles, the vine that served as a waistband, had actually come loose. In the cave, there were only her and Tia. The issue of exposure could be set aside for now. She looked at the damp stain on the stone slab, unable to comprehend. And at that unspeakable area. What is this situation? Was it just from looking at Kia? Was her body really that thirsty? Just as she was struggling with whether to go out, the 2 beasts outside the cave were also having a hard time. They had come in, hoping to sleep closer to the female. But Linlin's body was too frail. Rex directly jumped onto the stone slab, using his own body to warm the female. Suddenly, Rex twitched his nose. He caught an unusual scent emanating from Yelin. Kia smelled it too. The 2 beasts exchanged a glance, unable to resist even the slightest temptation, until the female was about to wake up. The 2 beasts hurriedly fled. Suddenly, the 2 beasts looked toward the cave entrance together and made eye contact with Yelin, who had tiptoed out to use the toilet. Why aren't any of you asleep? Not sleepy, Linlin. Why did you come out? I'm going to relieve myself. Probably drank too much water at night. Under the gaze of the 2 beasts, Yelin almost fled in panic. People are at their most vulnerable when using the toilet. Yelin's heart remained half suspended. Finally finished, stood up, didn't notice when a dark figure had appeared beside her. The next second, she heard a familiar voice, Linlin. It's me. Immediately after, on the other side, Yellen turned to look. It was Rex with a snake in his mouth. Yellen asked, still shaken, why did you come over? Kia said, Linlin, you went too far. It's very dangerous, don't you know? Next time you need to go. We'll accompany you together. Can't risk your own safety. Rex still couldn't speak. But this time, he stood by Kiwa's side. To show his position, okay? When did they form a united front? I know. I promise it won't happen again. The two beasts and the person returned to the cave. Yellen gently laid down on the stone slab. Eyes open until dawn. Tia had a good night's sleep. Woke up naturally. Turned over and looked at Yellen. Asked in astonishment, Linlin, you didn't sleep all night, did you? Tia, I can't sleep. It's not because of Kia and Rex, is it? Tia asked, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Yellen admitted it. It is because of them. Tia couldn't understand her way of thinking. Yellen, you're the strangest young female I've ever met. What's there to be so tangled up about? After all, Yellen wasn't a native-born female. Her thoughts were still influenced by modern ideas. She asked Tia irritably if it were you, and you had some fondness for one or more members of the opposite sex, but it hadn't risen to the level of love. Tia answered without hesitation. I would face my own heart sincerely. Since I have fondness for a male, it means his certain traits are attractive to me. Next, I would make further contact. If I don't feel aversion, and my mood during the contact is pleasant, I would consider developing an intimate relationship. Of course, the prerequisite for all this is that this male must be the one pursuing me. After hearing this, Yellen looked thoughtful. I understand. But I have one question. Even if it means sharing a partner with other males, they are still willing? Tia laughed. If a male actively pursues a female, that proves he is willing. It's impossible for us females to have only one partner. Yellen jumped down from the stone slab, stretched, raised her hand and touched her somewhat dry face. Helplessly said, if only there were skincare products here. These past few days, the wind has made my skin so dry. Tia also quickly touched her own face. Has my skin gotten worse now too? Yellen hurriedly comforted her. It's still okay. We're only in our 20s. No matter what, our skin won't get too bad. Alright, we agreed yesterday. Today, we'll go look for salt. Let's hurry and eat breakfast, so we don't delay coming back tonight. Tia hummed in agreement. The two walked out of the cave. Unexpectedly, a patch of wild grass in front of the cave entrance had been cleared. Kia was placing firewood. Seeing them come out, he smiled and said, Tia, just waiting for you to start the fire. Dia teased. You've prepared so early. You didn't sleep either, did you? Kia just smiled. Then his gaze shifted towards Yellen. Linlin, I think I heard you talking about skin problems. I forgot to tell you. I have a way to help you with skincare. Really, Kia? What method do you have? Kia explained. Tia, you should know. Some of the raw materials in skincare products sold on the market are extracted from plants. I am a direct seller, so I can extract some myself. It's not very powerful, but it's enough for skincare. Yellen seemed to understand the other person. Why? Their skin was so good. When can it be extracted? Will it harm the body? Tia couldn't wait to ask. Kia shook his head. It won't harm the body, but it will take some time. Let's prepare after we get back from collecting salt. After eating and drinking their fill, according to plan, the 3 people and 1 beast prepared to set off. Same as usual. Kia transformed back into a tree to carry the 2 females. Kia moved very quickly. The surrounding scenery flashed by as they left this dense forest. Outside was a vast expanse of yellow sandy land. While hurrying on their way, suddenly, A faint wolf howl came through. Rex's wolf body paused, seeming somewhat agitated. He wrote on the ground with his wolf claw, "Wait here for me. I'll be back soon." Kia frowned. "What are you going to do? Do you have some connection with the wolf pack ahead?" Rex nodded. "That is my wolf pack. I'll go see what happened." After saying that, he glanced at Yellen on the treetop, then turned and ran off. As he ran, his body grew larger and larger, finally stopping when he reached over 3 meters tall. Immediately after, a cold, sharp wolf howl, different from the pack's, echoed through the sky, leaving the two people and one tree looking at each other. Tia exclaimed in surprise. Rex said ahead is his wolf pack. So is the Wolf King summoning him. And was that beast form just now his true form? That's way too huge. Kia was also somewhat surprised by the wolf's actions. That is Rex's true beast form. Wolf beasts are originally medium to large-sized beast clans. A level 9 beastman's beast form should easily exceed 3 meters. As soon as the words fell, Tia's decibel level rose to that of a level 9 beastman. "You said Rex. He is a level 9 beastman. A level 9 beastman. What a concept." The entire Beastman Empire has a population of over 1 billion. The number of level 9 beastmen is at most no more than 1,000. Just understand Tia's surprised tone. He said calmly, "Otherwise, why do you think he could become an outcast beast and still maintain his sanity?" Yellen, who was listening on the side, was curious, asked, "From what you're saying, are level 9 beastmen very strong?" Tia looked at him with a complicated expression, nodded heavily. Superpowers are divided into 10 levels in total. Level 10 superpower users only exist in legends. In reality, no beastman can reach that level. Level 9 is already the highest rank. The entire empire has at most a few hundred level 9 beastmen. Think about how powerful Rex must be. Linlin, you are very lucky. Rex is outstanding. You must hold on tight. That is a level 9 beastman. If you miss it, you will regret it. Yellen was about to ask something. Suddenly, a huge commotion erupted ahead. Yellen asked in shock, "Kia, what happened ahead? Will Rex be in danger?" Kia put the two down and also changed back to human form himself, looking ahead with a serious expression. "Hard to say. The wolf beasts are the race with the strongest cohesion among all beast races. Rex says the wolf pack ahead is his. If nothing unexpected happens, he should be the wolf king of the pack. But these days, he has been staying with us. If I'm not mistaken, either the pack has encountered a formidable enemy, or there has been an internal rebellion. Let's wait here patiently. If Rex can't resolve it, we'll have no choice but to run. He cannot take any risks with the female." Kia guessed correctly. Rex was originally attracted by the female's scent, and suddenly left the wolf pack. Who would have thought the female was so good that it made him want to stay with her forever in the cave, especially after learning he could still recover. He completely forgot about the wolf pack. This wolf pack was never made up of particularly kind or good beasts. Under the leadership of Wolf King Rex, the pack only then united. However, just a few days ago, the Wolf King disappeared. At first, the pack showed no unusual movement, but after several days passed, some unrest still emerged within the wolf pack. And unfortunately, another wolf pack appeared near their territory. The Wolf King from that side, noticing they were leaderless, began to consider annexing and subduing them. The situation instantly became chaotic. Fortunately, at this critical moment, Rex returned. The loyal followers of Rex all erupted in excited cheers. They knew the Wolf King wouldn't die. He would definitely return. Rex swept a brutal gaze over the scene before him. His eyes immediately locked onto the Wolf King of another pack. Rex was swift and ferocious. Crackling wind orbs pelted the opposing Wolf King head-on. Within a few dozen breaths, the Wolf King, who was just arrogant moments ago, was already torn limb from limb by sharp blades. Rex placed his paw on the Wolf King's head. A coldly arrogant, all-despised icy wolf head. Under the intimidation of this aura, all the wolves lowered their heads, prostrated on the ground, submitting to the new Wolf King. Rex shook his wolf head in satisfaction, let out a roar to the wolves, and then left again. Linlin and the others must be getting anxious. Go back first to report being safe. Then come back to arrange for these underlings. The Wolf King left again. The wolf underlings looked at each other. None had the courage to follow. The newly subdued wolf, to show their loyalty, made a decision. A surprise Rex would never expect. "Awoo! Linlin, I'm back." "Rex, you're okay." "Great, what happened up ahead?" Yellen took a few steps toward the wolf. "It's fine, problem solved. Do you want to go see my wolf pack?" Kia disapprovingly said. "Rex, your wolf pack are all outcast beasts. Taking Linlin in them there could be dangerous." Rex lightly shook his wolf head. "No, believe me. She still has this bit of confidence. We should go find Salt first. We'll talk about other things when we get back." "Alright, let's listen to Linlin." Kia naturally had no objections. Rex also had no objections. A little earlier or later doesn't matter. It was already past noon. It should have been a sunny day. But it gradually turned cloudy. Soon, the sky began to drizzle. Scattered drops. "Hold on tight. We're almost at Salt Mountain. I'll speed up a bit." After being drenched for over 10 minutes, we finally saw a cave, and hurriedly rushed towards it. Outside, the rain poured down. Everyone inside the cave was soaked through. Rex stood far away from the others, shaking the water off his body. Kia was very busy. The first thing after putting the two down was to use his ability to make skirts, so that the two females could change out of their wet skirts. When they got the dry new skirts, Yellen and the other woman gathered their courage and walked a bit further into the cave, quickly changed into dry clothes. Their chilled bodies finally got some relief. Still very cold. Yellen walked out with wet hair, saw Kia hastening the growth of wood, and urging Doctor to come start a fire. When the fire was lit, Yellen felt like she had come back to life. The 3 humans and 1 beast huddled around the fire, warming themselves. Kia sat next to Yellen, holding her hair close to the fire, helping her dry it. The female's icy body made Kia's heart ache terribly. After drying her hair, he tightly held her small hands, giving her warmth. But he is a straight beast, born with a low body temperature. Even if warm, it couldn't be that warm. He couldn't help but look at the wolf drying its fur. "Rex, is your fur dry? Come quickly and warm Linlin up." Coming, Rex shook the fur on his body, walked to Yellen's side and crouched down, forelimbs supporting on the ground, assuming a posture like a genuine leather seat, using his eyes to signal the female to sit in his embrace. "Sister Tia, are you also very cold?" Tia stood up. "I'm fine. This dress isn't warm. I'd better rely on my own fur." Saying that, she walked toward the inside of the cave. Yellen didn't understand. Kia explained that Tia was going to transform into her beast form to warm up. "Linlin, if you can't transform into a beast form, don't push yourself. Let Rex help warm you." Kia directly picked her up horizontally and stuffed her into the wolf beast's embrace. The wolf's paw pressed down on her struggling body. His tongue lightly brushed her cheek. She inexplicably felt a sense of reality. Her face blushed like a ripe apple. Her body pressed against the warm fur. It really was very plump. She murmured in embarrassment. "If Sister Dia sees this, how embarrassing." Her voice was as low as it could be, but the 2 beasts heard it clearly. Rex felt a faint sense of surprise in his heart. Why does it seem like Linlin is about to accept them? Kia also understood. His dark green eyes sparkled, staring into the female's eyes. At this moment, Tia, having transformed into her beast form, walked out from inside the cave. Tia's beast form is a beautiful golden-haired lion. Yellen exclaimed in admiration. Sister Tia, your beast form is so beautiful. Thank you. Tia gladly accepted the praise. As she stepped forward, she resembled a noble, yet stumbling queen. Tia suddenly thought of something. She said curiously, "This cave is very deep. When I went inside earlier to transform back into my beast form, I walked a few more steps in. After about 10 meters, it still hadn't reached the end. It was too dark inside. I didn't dare to go any further. Could there be any danger here?" Upon hearing this, the two beasts became slightly alert. Kia said, "I didn't smell any dangerous scents, but just to be safe, I'll go inside now to check." The two people and one beast waited for about half an hour. Kia returned, raindrops dripping from his body. He was also holding two wild rabbits in his hands. "Kia, how did you get so soaked?" Yellen asked in surprise. "I walked in about 100 meters and found that the cave isn't sealed. Another exit happens to be on the other side of the cliff wall. At the cave entrance, I saw two wild rabbits sheltering from the rain. So I caught them and brought them back. Look at this rain, who knows when it'll stop. We might even have to spend the night here. Let's fill our stomachs first." So that's how it is. As long as there's no danger, it's fine. Tia felt relieved. Finally, the barbecue is ready. Smelling the delicious aroma of the meat, a rumbling sound came from Rex's stomach. Kia glanced at him. "These two are for Tia and Linlin. If you're hungry, go hunt for yourself." Yellen looked at the unceasing rain outside. She really couldn't bear to let Rex go out in the rain. "Linlin, it's just rain. And there are only two. Even if he ate them all, it would only be a snack. This little bit isn't enough to sustain his energy consumption." "Alright." Yellen thought about Rex's beastly form over 3 meters tall. Eating such two small ones really wouldn't be enough. Then, "Rex, be careful." "Awoo." Rex shook his head as if it were nothing. He had already received the female's concern. He was in a very happy mood. The silver wolf shook its fur. Immediately after, a faint cyan glow enveloped its body. Then it dashed into the curtain of rain. Yellen looked at Kia. "You gave the barbecue to us. What will you eat?" "I am a plant beast. My food is the energy in the air. Besides, my need for food isn't great, so I generally don't eat much." Tia asked curiously. "Kia, I don't know much about plant beasts. I saw your true form. Still couldn't tell what kind of plant beast it is." Hearing this, Yellen also looked at him curiously. Who knew? Kia Jing fell into an eerie silence for a moment, facing 4 pairs of eyes burning with curiosity. He hesitated a bit, vaguely said, "Ironwood tree, I guess." "Ironwood?" Yellen and Tia exclaimed in unison. The former was simply surprised. Tia's was more of a subconscious reaction. Something flashed through her mind extremely quickly, but she couldn't grasp it. She only felt like she'd heard it somewhere before, but couldn't recall the specifics. Seeing they didn't have any particular reaction, Kia finally let out a slight sigh of relief. "Don't just keep talking. You all should eat soon. It's a bit cold today. Eating while it's hot is good for your health." Kia smoothly changed the subject. After they finished eating, Rex, who had gone to fill his stomach, also returned. As expected, the wolf was completely drenched. In his dripping mouth, he held a plump, large wild chicken to keep for their next meal. When it was time to sleep, for the sake of warmth, Dia transformed back into his beast form. Yellen lay in the middle. On his left side was Tia. On his right side was Rex. And then Kia. The cave plunged into complete darkness. The sleeping Yellen dreamed she had arrived at the flaming mountains. She was woken up by the heat. The moment she opened her eyes, she felt her whole body burning up, pushed Rex away and sat up, gasping for breath in big mouthfuls, looking very uncomfortable. Rex's wolf eyes gleamed with an eerie light in the darkness, staring intently at her. Kia had come to her side at some point. His expression worried, yet tinged with something strange. Kia, get me some water. I'm so thirsty. I'll go get you water right now. Hurriedly walking out, Yellen changed her mind again. Wait, I'll go out with you to drink water. It's too hot in here. I'm having trouble breathing. Kia swallowed almost imperceptibly. Okay, Linlin. Let's go out for some fresh air. Rex followed closely behind. Kia carried Yellen and ran out of the cave. As soon as she touched the cool air, Yellen felt her mind clear a little. But only for a moment. The feeling of inner heat instead grew more severe. For some reason, Kia's scent was especially alluring tonight. It stirred an indescribable longing in her. She really wanted to kiss him. Yellen was frightened by her own thought. Her face burned hotly. Kia placed Yellen on a rock. In the darkness, the two looked into each other's eyes. Rex had been following them. But at this moment, he was unusually keeping his distance from her. The look in Kia's eyes held an indescribable heat as he gazed at her. Even his breath carried a peculiar scent. Lin, you're in heat. What does it mean? What she thinks it means. Then what should I do? Kia gently cupped Yellen's face. He pleaded, Linlin, let me help you, okay? There are no drugs here. Suppressing it by force is harming your body. The scent will also attract more male beasts. Let me help you, okay? I truly love you. Her rationality was already teetering on the brink. And he was still saying such provocative words. The last thread of Yellen's restraint completely snapped. She only managed to say, not outside. As you command, my wife, master. Kia's hands were trembling with excitement. Behind them, Rex was stimulated, his eyes burning red. He was in beast form. He would hurt the other. He could only watch helplessly. At this moment, Rex was like an irrelevant spectator outside the arena, gazing intently at the fierce contest within. Yellen had not truly lost her senses. In a state half lucid, half indulgent, she only wanted this special moment to end quickly. From this moment on, her relationship with them had truly changed. Perhaps it wasn't as hard to accept as she had imagined. It was unknown how much time had passed. After the storm had subsided, Kia gently kissed the female's forehead. And Rex, who had been guarding nearby, at some unknown, Rex, you can't do this. Kia didn't want the female to get hurt. Rex glared coldly at him. His stance firm. This time, the meaning is different. He also wanted to become Linlin's male. And this time, it's different from before. It can accommodate him now. Alright, you have to be gentle. In the end, Kia still gave in. Yellen is still in an uncomfortable state. Suddenly, her face was licked. Yellen half opened her hazy eyes. Saw a familiar wolf head. Didn't react for a moment. Yellen shyly covered her face. Well, they still got their way. The night is still long. They didn't notice at all. There was another spectator who had been watching from the beginning. In the pitch-black cave, a cluster of frail white flowers was suddenly knocked down by something. Flying toward Kia and Rex,